And I'm joined on set by France 24's Elitsa Gadeva. Elitsa, you're starting with one of our top stories, how U.S. papers are reacting to Donald Trump's nuclear restart.
That's right, Alison. And the New York Times here says that Trump's call to resume nuclear testing after decades is reviving a Cold War debate. And the paper says that the announcement prompted visions of a return to the worst days of the Cold War, when the United States, Russia, and China were detonating weapons in outer space and underground. And the New York Times writes that it was an era of terrifying threats and counter threats. And the testing was supposed to end with the so-called Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty that nations agreed to in the mid-1990s. Then the Washington Post here says that the Trump's push to restart nuclear tests could take years and cost millions, according to experts. And the simple test could cost as much as $100 million. And some experts also argue that physical testing is outdated and could just give a push to the arms race that the US is actually trying to counter. The paper also explains that some proponents of nuclear testing say that it is necessary to combat a rising proliferation threat, notably coming from countries like Russia, China, and North Korea. The Atlantic, however, says that Trump is very confused about nuclear weapons, and it kind of debunks and fact-checks Donald Trump's Truth Social post. For example, Trump says that the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country, and the Atlantic says that that's not true. It's actually Russia. And then he says that China needs 5 years to catch up with Russia and the States. And the paper says that this is only possible if China produces 1,000 nuclear bombs per year, which is very ambitious. And finally, modernizing the nuclear arsenal had already started during Obama and not during Trump's first term in office.
Lisa, did you find any articles that are actually supporting Trump's new nuclear policy?
Yeah, this opinion piece here in the New York Post says that it was about time, and the article says that Trump's announcement is a victory of common sense over superstition. It says that if the tests are controlled and contained, there is no good argument for not conducting them, and that they are a central part of the defense of the United States.
Okay, we're going to move to the UK next, Elitsa, where Andrew, as he will henceforth be known, has been stripped of his royal title as prince.
Yeah, it's all over the front pages of British papers, like we can see here. Finally, says the Daily Mirror, the Time writes, Andrew stripped of his prince title and home. The Sun here says the Andrew, formerly known as Prince, banished, we read here in the Daily Mail, and Andrew humiliated in The Independent.
Like the Andrew. The British tabloids, I imagine, must be quite on fire today.
Absolutely. Final humiliation, says the Sun. The Daily Mail is also covering the story. It writes that it's a sensation as the king strips Andrew of his prince title. He's sent now to live in Norfolk in a final humiliation, and the paper also says that there is no one to turn to but his daughters after the, quote, biggest ever fall from grace. And then the Mirror here says that there are only 2 remaining royal perks after he is no longer prince. He is still in line of succession, the paper says, but 8 if we have to precise. And he is still a Counselor of State, but only on paper. And finally, Vanity Fair here reminds that earlier this month, Andrew agreed to stop using his Duke of York title, and the royal family said that now we should call him Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
All right, Lisa, finally from you, today is October 31st, meaning it is Halloween, and you have some Halloween stories for us.
Yeah, staying in the UK, where this opinion piece says, "Come on, Britain, it's time we embraced Halloween like America." The author here argues that the celebrations of the Brits are quite pale in comparison to the States, and she's not really wrong if we're judging by this next article here in the New York Times that asks the question, have Halloween decorations become too scary? It says that maybe the United States is trying a bit too hard. The decorations are getting very realistic, like dismembered bodies and all kinds of crazy stuff like these clowns that we see here. And the paper spoke to some parents who have said that their children are traumatized because when they're walking down the street, that's in Brooklyn, there are all kinds of jump scares, scary clowns, dismembered bodies. They are very, very realistic. Americans are taking it very seriously. And some neighbors have lodged complaints, and others simply wonder what kind of twisted thoughts are lurking in the minds of Americans.
That one on the right is pretty scary.
Yeah. What about you, Alison? Are you celebrating tonight?
I think tonight I am not organized enough. I would love to celebrate, though. Halloween is definitely the thing that I most miss about the United States. Elitza, what about you?
I am. You can join me if you want.
Okay, good. Send me a message. We'll plan this later. All right, thanks, Elitza. That was Elitza Gadeva with today's press review. Thanks to all of you for watching. Happy Halloween. Stay with us on France 24 if you can.